I've thought about doing that and start like going live on YouTube and then just posting them from there, because that's essentially how I record these anyways. But this is episode 240 of the No Hangover Podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and rate across all platforms. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, and we're on Apple Podcasts. Check us out on our socials on Instagram at No Hangover Podcast and on TikTok at No_Hangover. Engage with me, comment, let me know what you like, what you don't like. If you think I'm smart, if you think I'm dumb. We'll go back and forth a little bit. So back with another one. We got another guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are.
What up? It's your girl, Jade Morales. I'm a singer, songwriter, poet, spoken word artist,
multifaceted,
daughter, sister.
Everything. All the things. I'm all the things.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
How are you doing? How's life been since the showcase? That was the last time we spoke.
Life has been good.
Or saw each other in person, at least.
Yeah, life has been good. You know, taking care of just like real life things.
Yeah.
Taking a slight step back from the art, but
how was that? Good. How was the experience for you? Like, as far as, I don't know, just the overall, like now that you've been able to sit back and kind of take it in for what it was and everything that came with it, like, what was your overall, like, I don't know, I guess just thoughts on it and like experience on it?
Yeah. It was definitely a dream come true. I think that's something I've repeated to myself and to other people just over and over and over. It was just a dream come true. It was a much needed escape from all like the personal shit I was dealing with. It was just a really lovely escape, getting to be with like good, talented artists and just good people overall.
Yeah.
Like all the artists that were on the lineup were just genuinely nice people.
Yeah, everyone was cool. Yeah,
everyone was so nice, and I feel like that makes the experience that much better. Is when you're talented, but you're also nice and a good person.
Not an asshole.
You're not an asshole. No, I would always get told from like multiple artists and teachers, you could be the most talented person in the room, but if you're an asshole, doesn't mean anything. Your talent means nothing if you're an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that, it comes like I understand when people get, you have to have some type of confidence in yourself when you're, having, performing and doing something like that. But, to your point, there's like a line where you can have confidence, but like be humble, like, not
like
take,
a humble cockiness of sorts.
Yeah. Not take it like too seriously, I guess. I don't know. I think that's kind of where those things stem from a little bit. Just
I know for me, like I'm confident in what I do, and I know that I'm a good artist, but I know that I'm still a student of the art.
Right.
It's been a while since I've been in school, but it's like I'm still a student of the art. I'm still a student of the game.
Did you go to school for?
Yeah, I went to school for musical theater.
Okay. So yeah. That's right.
Yeah. I was a theater kid. I'm still that theater kid.
Where'd you go to school after that?
Jacksonville University.
How was that?
It was good. It was like a private institution, private school.
Yeah.
Or private state university, I should say. So my class sizes were a lot smaller than, let's say, like UCF.
Yeah.
I think like the largest class I had was high 20s, low 30s. So it was for a college.
Yeah.
That ain't that bad.
But I mean, I feel like it, gives you a chance to be more like together and like
more concentrated.
Exactly. Like
it's more like a tight knit community.
Yeah, and you can, the professor, the instructor can like
it's a more
spend more time.
Experience.
Exactly. Spend more time on what you need to focus on and not give like a general like spread yourself thin. This is what's gonna pass you this class. Good luck.
And like in all of my professors, like even before I started on my first day, knew my name, knew my face.
Nice.
Knew where I was from, knew my major, all of that prior to my first day.
Yeah, that's important to connect.
Yeah, I just felt immediately at home.
Yeah. And what were you majoring in there?
I was primarily musical theater.
Okay.
And I know that it fell more so under the music major umbrella. So they had like music major umbrella and then a theater major umbrella. So I know for me, I had to take like a theater arts minor just so I could get into more acting classes, so I could sharpen those skills.
Yeah.
Because depending on where you go, some musical theater programs are more acting heavy, some are more dance heavy. In this case, mine was more music heavy. So a lot of music theory, which I fucking hate, I hate music
Yeah,
theory.
everyone that I talk to that takes some like majors in music, that they always say like music theory blows.
Oh, I hate it. I had to take 2 consecutive semesters of that.
Damn, is it that bad?
I hated it.
How come?
It's just I learn by ear a lot. I learn by listening and by doing. So it's like looking on paper and trying to decipher like what fucking 7th chord this is.
Yeah.
Whether it's like a diminished 7th, and I'm just like,
I could see how that definitely fucks up your flow a little bit.
yeah. Like I know basic music theory. I'm definitely no like music theory nerd. I tried taking AP theory in high school with no prior knowledge of music theory.
I'm sure that was like a fucking tidal wave. Just,
Oh yeah, no, because if I had passed the AP test, I wouldn't have had to take theory in college. Yeah. And I think I was just a few points shy of passing the AP test. I'm like, fuck.
Damn.
I was so close yet so far.
Just like an arm's length. Damn. Yeah, no, my family's very musical. I dabble a little bit, but I wouldn't, I'm not very, I don't play an instrument. I don't like sing like or do anything like that, but I feel like I'm pretty musically inclined. Yeah. I would like to, like I have the keyboard right over here and there's a guitar over there the keyboard I know how to use a little bit. The guitar, I used to play bass guitar when I was younger, but that's the guitar and bass guitar are 2 different things.
Oh, for sure. So I know like basic piano. I had to take 2 piano classes my freshman year, 2 consecutive semesters. Nice. So like I know how to read a chord chart. Yeah. Like I would go on like Guitar Chords, like that website. Yeah. I could play the root of the chord in my left hand and like toggle the rest of the chord in my right hand.
People don't understand. Like playing piano, like your hands have to be so flexible and strong.
You have to be flexible, but you also, it's kind of like, what is it? Tapping your head and rubbing your stomach or like whatever the fuck it is. It's literally that. For real. So it's like, I know how to read vocal sheet music. If you give me piano sheet music, I'll cry.
Yeah. It is wild how it is like a different language. It's just all different. Like, and that's where, because my cousin, she graduated from UCF, I'm pretty sure, with her her bachelor's in music, and she would give me piano lessons from time to time, and like just picking it up and being able to play things was the easy part, but like once I had to go and reach it, that's when I'm like, fuck this, like, this does suck.
Basic piano skills at least helped me a lot when having to learn music on my own, because a lot of the times, especially if you're like me, you're in like 3 choral ensembles. Damn. You kind of like, I'm a choir kid. I was a choir nerd. And like you're in the practice room for like a couple hours between classes. Yeah. Knowing how to read sheet music, knowing basic theory, and knowing basic piano skills goes a long way. Yeah. So
for sure. I mean, having, like you said, basic knowledge of things in any field that you're gonna like, it's like just the foundational stuff, and then you can kind of figure it out from there. Yeah.
You could build on top of it, especially if you have the right people around you. Right. They're not gonna judge you.
Right. I mean, you get and what's it called? Constructive criticism. Yeah, that's definitely something good to have. So like, I guess at like what point in your life were you really like this is what I would like, the music stuff, the art stuff, that's what I'm really like want to do with my life, or at least have it in my life in some capacity.
Yeah. So my mom will be the first one to tell you I was a musical kid since I like came into the world.
Came out singing.
Like I fully came out singing. But like I would always sing around the house. For a while I would like bang on pots and pans while my mom's trying to cook, just like trying to make some sort of beat. I would always sing to like jingles on TV, and like I horribly try to harmonize with them. Like I was always very musical from the get. That's how I was. And I was like in 4th grade, I believe. They had like on the morning announcements, like applications to join the school choir. I think you had to be like, if my memory serves me.
The morning announcements was the shit.
It was the shit, bro. And if my memory serves me correct, you had to be, they were only accepting like 100, 150 applications. And once it reached that number, it's done. Yeah. And so I asked my teacher to print me a copy. Yeah. I went home. I'm like, sign this. I was 9 years old. I'm like, Mommy, I want to do this. Can you sign it, please? And she signed it. Kind of like the rest was history. I guess like as the saying goes, I got bit by the bug. And then kind of the rest was history.
Like, this is it. This is what I need.
Yeah, and especially I knew music had a very special place in my life in middle school. Because we loosely talked about it at Dr. Phillips. I got bullied a lot in middle school for a multitude of reasons, but I got bullied a lot. It was ruthless torture for 3 years, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And the choir room felt like the only safe space. My choir teacher, Ms. Carmen Aquino, I don't know if she still teaches at that school anymore. I think she still teaches somewhere in Orange County, but that's besides the point. She was the only person who I felt would protect me. So when I started to associate music with safety, that was the first moment it kind of clicked for me. Music was safety. I didn't know I wanted to pursue it as a career until like late into high school.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you don't really, I feel like when you find something that you enjoy that young, you don't think about like, is this going to pay my bills?
Exactly. And it's like I knew how to sing and I knew how to sing well.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't start taking voice lessons until senior year of high school. But it wasn't until high school where I'm like, yeah, I want to do this as a career. I want to pursue this.
Nice.
I always say I was in the musical Into the Woods in high school. And that's my favorite musical of all time. It's kind of a corny musical to claim as your favorite musical. If any theater kids are judging me, go right ahead. But that I was the baker's wife, and if anyone knows that show, she's kind of like a semi-comedic relief. And I think that was the show that made me realize I want to be a storyteller. And it's like shortly after that, it's like that time where guidance counselors start hounding you about college and shit. Yeah. It's always towards like the middle of the second semester, junior years, when they start hounding you. And my choir teacher at the time, his name was Skip Stratman. I love this guy. He pulled me into his office and he's like, before guidance counselors start hounding you, I'm gonna hound you. He's like, what do you want to pursue in school? Yeah. And I went, music. He's like, okay, specify, because music is such a broad when it comes to talking about college, it's a very broad topic. Right. So he's like, what do you want to do specifically? And I went, musical theater. I want to tell stories. He's like, okay, bet. We're going to make sure that you get there. Nice. No matter what, we're going to make sure you get there. Yeah.
Having a mentor or someone who like was willing to take you under their wing fucking helps in life.
He got me connected with my first ever vocal coach. Nice. Her name is Miss Randall. Love that woman. He got me connected with her, and so that summer I started taking lessons with her. And so come around spring, my senior year, started going on. I only went on 2 college auditions, but
damn, I guess that's how you get into those schools, right? You got
because you have to get accepted academically first, and then you have to audition for the program itself,
which is kind of wild to think about.
Which is kind of wild, but
to sing your way into the school,
which makes sense.
It does, but it is funny to think about it like that, though. Like, but when did you start writing poetry? Like, was that in between that time, or?
I think I started writing, I want to say in 6th grade. All right. But then once like people found out I started writing, that was another thing they started to pick me on. And that's when I actually kind of started, that's when I gave a fuck about what people thought about what I did.
I mean, you're in middle school, you don't know.
Yeah, I'm in middle school, I'm insecure. So it's like, I stopped it. Yeah. Admittedly, I stopped it because I'm like, anything to just kind of stop the torment, of course, I was willing to do. But it wasn't until, fast forward to my freshman year of college.
Oh shit.
JU is like 2.5 hours away from home, and I'm a homebody. That is the farthest I've ever been from home. And I moved in, I think like 2.5 weeks early because I got a job on campus that required training. Yeah. So it's like I never got that freshman move-in experience that like everyone else gets. Yeah. Where like all the RAs are cheering you on. There's parties and games and shit and all that. So I was by myself for like a solid 2 weeks, and that shit ate at me. Like, I love being alone, don't get me wrong. Yeah. As surprising as this may seem to some people, I'm an introvert at heart. So I loved being alone, but not being able to like walk out my room and like go into my mom's room or something.
Being alone and being away from home
are 2 different things. Two completely different experiences. So I just started writing.
Picked it back up.
Yeah, people can consider it journaling at first. I don't really care what you call it. I just picked up a pen and I started writing. And it was around the anniversary of my abuelo's passing, which is coming up soon. He passed away, I believe, on the 20th of October. Damn.
That's wild because my grandfather passed away on the 13th. I think it was 3 years ago today, or on the 13th now.
I think this year it'll be 9 years or something, because he passed when I was a junior in high school. And it was rearing in on the anniversary of his passing. Yeah. And I knew he lived in New York, so he unfortunately never got the chance to see me perform. But he would always call my mom and ask, like, oh, how was like her choir show? How was this? How was that? He would always ask, and he would always be really supportive. And so the first real poem I wrote was a poem called Bendición, which in Spanish it kind of just means blessings. Yeah. And the typical response would be Dios te bendiga, like may God be with you and may give blessings back to you. And I would never say it back to him. He would always say bendición, and I would never say it back because like I never felt Latina enough. That's a whole nother story. And so I just wrote about that and how much I missed him, how much like I would love to hear his voice. And I think that for me, when I started writing as a means to escape, that's when I immediately started attaching art to the form of escapism. And so poetry just kind of became a means to cope with homesickness, cope with the anxiety that comes with homesickness. Yeah. I didn't really start making friends until the end of my freshman year. So it's like a poetry just became that coping skill. And I was like towards, I want to say the ending of my fall semester, my freshman year, beginning of the spring semester, somewhere around that time, applications for the literary magazine came out. And I just said, fuck it, I ain't got nothing to lose. So I submitted a poem about my mom, and both of them got accepted. Nice. So that was like my first real legit publication. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, people actually like this shit. People like this shit. That's dope. People like this shit. People can relate to this shit. So not only did people like it, they could relate to it.
Well, I think that's something that kind of, even in this time where mental health is a lot more, promoted and advertised, and make sure you check on people and things like that. I feel like it's promoted, but it's still not practiced well enough yet amongst just like
practiced well enough, and then it's also like not, how can I say this? It's starting to be more normalized in talking about it and bringing awareness to it. Right. Whereas, especially pre-pandemic, you almost never talked about it. Right. You glorified it, which it's nowadays it kind of teeters that line of awareness and glorifying. But back then, you just wouldn't talk about it. Right. And especially once the pandemic hit, I went home for spring break freshman year, and that's kind of when shit just hit the fan. Damn. I got told, okay, 2 weeks and y'all could come back. Yeah, and then 3 days later, we're closing for the rest of the semester. Like, whoa. If you live on campus, you got 3 days to get your shit. Damn. So it's like, that kind of just hit all at once. Right. And I left my house maybe a total of 2 times that summer. Shit. Because my grandmother has just a lot of health things, and I don't want to get her sick. Right. So again, poetry kind of became that means to cope. Right. And that means to kind of look at myself in a way that I never did. And I had started a poetry account on Instagram. I haven't posted on it in like 3 years. But you could still find it on Instagram as Caitlin Jade Poetry. But it was during that time of the pandemic where I could just post it and share it, because I didn't really have anyone to share it with. Yeah. So I just started sharing it on Instagram. Yeah, and the point I was getting at was like when you're able to pretty much like say what other people are feeling, and they don't have to come out and say it, but it hits them where like they need to feel it. Like, a lot of people can relate, because I'm a pretty relaxed guy, but there's still moments where I get anxious, and there's still moments where it's like, oh, fuck, like, what the fuck is going on right now? Sure. And things like that. So, like, I'm a little bit more expressive in it, and, like, I just, whatever, like, I guess I don't feel as much shame about it, but there's a lot of people that do. And there's a lot of people that, like, for whatever reason, feel like they can't, express themselves openly. So then when they see something, like I said, like, to you with the poetry, with the entries in the newspaper and things like that, and people are rocking with it. It's like,
hey, you're expressing yourself in a way that I wish I could, but you know, people get that escape with you essentially.
Yeah. And like I know I fell in love with poets like Rupi Kaur with I probably butchered her name and I'm so sorry. But that
sounds
book,
right to me.
But like back in I want to say like what 2014, 2015 she came out with that book Milk and Honey.
Okay,
took over Tumblr.
Yeah.
I think that was the first poetry book I bought because I had Tumblr at the time cuz like, that was just
the thing.
That was just the thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like how TikTok is the thing now. Tumblr used to be that. And I read a couple of her poems on there. And while most of them were about like heartbreak and shit, things that I never really like experienced yet at that time, there was something still so raw and so genuine about the way she wrote. And I'm just like, I want to write like that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you could, when people make you feel shit that you haven't felt before yet, it's like, whoa, like, how'd you do that?
It's a gift to be able to share like that.
But like, even in any form, like whether it is music or poetry or movies, and like, I don't know what that feeling is, but like when people are really able to like convey that in whatever sense it is, it's a powerful feeling for
no,
sure.
For real.
So that is definitely something that you as far as the like being able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and being able to understand and things like that, I feel like that is very, very powerful for sure. So during 2020, I know it was a weird time for everyone, and you said you started the poetry page, and you felt like you kind of were able to get back in that bag a little bit. Are you still carrying some of that momentum now? Like, do you still write a lot often, or is it kind of?
I think now I'm a bit more, I don't want to say selective, but I'm a bit more thoughtful of what I write. Because after I want to say like a year or so of posting on that account, I was posting every single day. Yeah. I started getting really good at writing micro poetry, so like enough poetry that fits in a single Instagram square.
Oh, okay. Is there like a character limit on that, or is it just like?
I think for some things I would like little mini contests I would enter in on Instagram. There was a word count.
Oh, okay.
But I just got really good at writing poetry that fits in an Instagram square. Right. So like more long form poetry was never really my strong suit up until I want to say like my senior year of college, really. Right. But I know for me, I was posting every single day. And I think, like I said, after like a year or so of posting on the account every single day, you're getting good engagement. You're getting people following you. You're getting all this recognition. I realized I was writing for the wrong reason. I was writing more for the likes, the comments, the shares. And that's never how I wanted to share my art. I didn't want to do it for the likes. I wanted to do it for me. So I stopped posting on it for like 3 months.
Did you feel like your stuff was getting maybe like shallow, or like you
Not shallow. It was getting a little bit repetitive. I would just talk about the same shit in a different font.
So you kind of like found a formula to it in a sense, and you're like just copy and pasting kind of.
Pretty much, yeah. And so, especially nowadays, the past 2 years being out in the scene and shit, I'm a lot more thoughtful of what I write. I'm a lot more intent. There's a lot more intent with the process of writing.
So how often have you been, or I guess when did you start like going out and reading your poetry in front of people and like going to like hitting different spots and things like that?
September of 2023.
Oh, so like relatively recent.
Yeah, so I graduated in April 2023.
Okay.
I'm a youngin', in case y'all didn't know that. I'm a mad youngin', but I wanted to take a break post college because you're just go. Yeah. Especially when you go to a small school, you're just always performing, and there's never really a chance to breathe. So I purposefully wanted to take a break, but then I really started to miss it. And I didn't really start falling in love with the spoken word aspect of poetry and songwriting until really like my last semester. And I knew I wanted to explore that more. I just didn't know how. And shout out to my mom, but she had found this ad on Facebook for Respect the Mic.
Damn, good old Facebook.
Good old Facebook. My mama loves her Facebook.
Damn, Facebook has stood the test of time.
But she found it.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, they do hip hop and poetry and shit. So she's like, I don't care what you do.
Just go do
Just
something.
go sign up and perform. Just do it.
Damn. How your mom sounds like she's been a pretty big influence on you, like going and doing shit and just saying fuck it. Like,
because I think anytime I've ever doubted myself or anytime I had other people doubting me, I would have her to be like, no, you can do it. Nah, fuck that. Do it.
That's a good thing too to have, especially to have your mom in your corner like that.
And I never realized how, quite frankly, much of a privilege it is to have a parent like parental support. I had a brain malfunction. I didn't realize how much of a privilege it is to have that parental support until I started going out on the scene like this. Because when you're in the more academic setting of doing music in school, it's almost like parents going to support their kids. That was the normal. That was norm. Because like theater, orchestra, and choir stuff is more polished, quote unquote, than like being an independent singer-songwriter. Right. It's considered a lot more of a polished field. And so, like I said, getting that parent support was just normal for me. Normal for my friends, normal for the people around me. So when I started going to Respect the Mic, No Peace Mondays, shout out to Oranges Media, when I went out to Free Yourself, shout out to Simba, and I see a lot of artists who didn't have that support. Who are like, yeah, my mom don't really fuck with the fact that I do music. And like my folks don't really fuck with it. That hurts. That hurt my spirit, really, because I'm like, damn, I come from a very supportive family background. And I shouldn't take that lightly.
Yeah, no, it definitely is something once you kind of start going out in the world and start talking to people and, just different people, different walks of life, everything, you start kind of realizing that having a core support group, whether it's family, friends, or is like how important, but how rare it is as well. Because I'm kind of the same way. Like, I keep, the friends and people that I keep like around me have been my friends since 15 going on 15 plus years. And I'm very selective on who I keep around me because especially if just in life, like shit's already hard enough, like exactly. You don't want to have to kind of like, I guess for lack of a better term, like drag people along with you. Like it's not that you don't fuck with them or anything, it's just like, hey, like we're not vibing or this is not working right now, so I gotta let you go. But real. Being like having like I said, that core group or people that support you just in what you do is like, it's really good for your belief. And like, because there's gonna be days where you're like just down on yourself, and it's like, because you're the one that's going through it, you're the one experiencing it, you're the one that's putting yourself out there in whatever sense.
It's a full-time job believing in yourself,
right? For sure. And there's gonna be days where the belief is a little bit higher and there's gonna be days where it's a little bit lower, and it's like, oh, what the fuck am I even doing this for? But yeah, for sure. But it's good to have like to turn around and know that you have like your parents. I have my best friend since like freshman year of high school, going on 10 years at this point. And people that are like willing to just trying to understand you and listen to you and like just get you. And that is very rare. And like you, I'm very, I feel like very fortunate that I have the people that I do have in my life and shit like that. So that definitely hits home for sure. For sure. But the poetry. What places do you usually perform at? I know you shouted out a few of them just now.
Yeah, New Peace Mondays and like Respect the Mic, kind of like the places I frequent the most. I go to Diverse Word a lot. Shout out to Marquise and Big John Study. Diverse Word is the longest running open mic in Central Florida. I think this year it's going on 19 years. Oh shit. 18, 19 years this year. But that's where I go a lot to kind of test new shit. Test out new shit. Because they're very open community. All three of them are very open communities, and I know that they're filled with artists who if I go to be like, hey, how did this sound?
Yeah.
Like, do you think I should edit? Should I approach this certain stanza?
I was just
a bit?
about to ask, like, are you going there with like a finished copy, or are you going with something in there that's kind of like rough and you're trying to fine tune it? It
depends on the piece. Sometimes it's like, this shit is polished. I want to start performing it for real.
Yeah.
Especially more so in terms with Respect the Mic, because I always get like the artist package, so it always gets filmed and I want to share it. But like with places like New Peace Mondays and Diverse Word, oftentimes it's more of like a rough sketch of the piece. And because you never know, especially with spoken word, you never know, quote unquote, how good the piece is until you get the audience reaction to it. Is one thing that I've noticed really well. And especially when I was finding my sound and my identity with poetry, that was something I relied on a lot, was how is the audience reacting to this?
Yeah.
And like I said, I developed a nice group of peers who will give me constructive criticism if I ask.
Yeah.
So it's been nice to have those close-knit groups like that.
And has there been like, I guess I don't want to put it like, no disrespect, but like, is there a favorite place that you like to perform, or like a spot that you like, it just like, I don't know, like the energy or the vibe or whatever it is about it is.
New Peace Mondays always has a special place in my heart. I think Respect the Mic and New Peace Mondays were quite literally the first two stages I stepped on in the city. So they always have a special place in my heart. They will continue to have a very special place in my heart. And they're the two places I frequent the most. I'm a regular there at this point.
Nice. And where are those at?
Respect the Mic is, I believe, in Mai Tai in downtown.
Okay.
And New Peace Mondays is at Binks in downtown.
Mai Tai I've been to a couple times.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. What was the other one? Binks?
Binks. It's like a nice little cafe.
Oh, okay.
If you like more laid back vibes like me, I'm a more like laid back, chill kind of person. That's why I like New Peace Mondays a little bit better. like low key on the low key.
There we go.
I like really like laid back chill vibes.
We're getting the juicy stuff.
But not to get myself in trouble or nothing. But yeah, I like a real chill, laid back, family kind of vibe. So that's why I like going to New Peace a lot.
Word. How'd you get like? Sorry to cut you off, but how'd you I guess, how did you develop your style? Like, I guess, first of all, what is your style? Like, how would you describe it? And then how did you, I guess, settle on that, or like figure out this is what's going to work for me?
Yeah, I would say it's very raw and authentic to me. I wear, what's the phrase? My heart on my sleeve.
Yeah.
I think that's the phrase.
Yeah.
And I'm very observant with how I write. I write quote unquote more intellectually. Take a shot every time I've said quote unquote. I don't know how many times I've said that.
We're gonna have a counter.
Please have a counter, because I said that like 5 times already. But like I tend to write more like intellectually and introspectively. I'm very observant with things that I feel, and honestly, therapy's really helped me with that. Like when I was in school, like especially in college, they offered a free therapy for like full-time undergraduate students. Yeah. So post-COVID especially, I took advantage of that.
Yeah.
And so when I was able to get a better look at my emotions and how my body reacts to things, I started becoming more in tune with my body. I started listening to my body more. Because post-COVID, I started experiencing a lot more panic and anxiety attacks. So getting to listen to your body, listen to your mind, and know kind of what it's trying to tell you when you build the tools to understand your emotions. For me, it really helped with my writing. I was able to express myself a lot better. And my counselors were like, write up like your homework. I hated homework, but they would always give me homework like, write a poem about this. Even if you never publish it or perform it anywhere, just like write a poem about this.
Did you feel like it kind of, I guess, help you clear things up and like, I guess, compartmentalize certain things?
For sure. 100%. I started to look at things not so much in a vacuum, but in a broader picture. Because before, I would always look at my emotions in a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for. More so in a magnifying glass rather than looking at it at a larger scale.
Yeah.
Because emotions are not just black and white.
Yeah, there's a ton of gray area.
I wouldn't even say it's a gray area. I would say it's like there's a lot of colors that go with it. Because we live in a world filled with technicolor.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the fucking art you got on the walls, the lights and shit. This world is filled with technicolor. You always associate a color with an emotion. Like red can be seen as anger, or it can be seen as sexual and sensual, right?
Yeah.
You know, you always or at least I've always done that.
Yeah, I mean, love.
I've always associated
red
colors.
Is definitely like blue is definitely like soothing, calming, like chill. But it could also
purple
be
is more like royalty,
yeah,
kind of.
You green, earthy.
Yeah, like you always associate colors with that.
Yeah.
So I personally refuse to believe that the world has a gray area. It's just filled with technicolor that some people are blind to, and I feel like therapy kind of helped me see a lot of that more. And a lot of my counselors realize I speak a lot in metaphors already as is when it comes regards to my emotions. So when they would give me those like prompts as homework, it helped me again express kind of what I was feeling.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to look at it. Because I guess when I say gray area, I mean it in the sense of like there's just a lot of room for like, because yes, you could whatever random emotion, let's see, anger, but like the scale of what anger is and what it can be could vary. Like, I was mad, but like, you know, I held it in, or like whatever, you expressed it. But then there's people that express it in like its most intense form, and it's like, oh, like, yeah, like there's no mistaking that. Like, yeah,
because like there's madness, like you're mad at something.
Yeah.
Then there's frustration, which is a completely different
annoyance. I feel like it's on that same
agitation,
scale, right? So there's dope. So like, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, for me, the gray area is that same. Like, you know, for you, I
understand that.
Yeah. So, but it is, emotions are tricky. They're a tricky thing because they can make you believe something that is just like, not even that it's true. It's just like there was no reason to even feel this way about anything. Like I just like let my emotions get the best of me, essentially.
Yeah, for sure.
And you just let your mind run with it, and it makes sense in your head. But then once you kind of, you know, again, express it or say what you need to say or whatever, you kind of realize it's like, oh, like shit wasn't that bad after all. For sure. But it definitely, you know, I feel like I don't know, a lot of people don't have that skill. And I also feel like it's people don't understand that it is a skill. It's not like you're born with it or you're not. Like it is something that you can learn, and there's things, you know, what's it called, exercises that you can do that you could apply in your everyday life to, you know, just kind of be aware of like it's okay to be, you know, whatever, sad, mad, angry, happy, and all these things, but like, don't let it get the best of you. Don't let it overtake you. Don't let it like guide your decisions on everything and in life, because that could, you know, that can not go well sometimes. If you're just, you know, you're mad at somebody or you're sad at something, or even if you're too happy about something and you kind of get overzealous and like, you know, you kind of get ahead of yourself a little bit on things. It can kind of, you know, just you could trip over yourself and not really be paying attention to what's going on around you.
Yeah.
So that is therapy is, how do you feel? Like, I mean, obviously you've gone to therapy, and how do you feel like, you know, I guess overall the stigma on it, like how do you feel about it? Because I do feel like, again, with the like mental health, it's a little bit more spoken about and like it's a little bit more out there, but I do feel like, you know, like we were talking about before, there is still a bit of a stigma around like the mental health and actually like practicing good mental health things. Like how do you feel that is? Do you feel like it's the same with therapy in that sense of like? I feel like
therapy nowadays, there's a lot more open dialogue about it, because especially when you have places like BetterHelp, for example, where it's like online therapy,
right?
You know, there's a lot more open dialogue about it than let's say pre-COVID, right? Because I know for me, I really loved having that unbiased opinion, because having that unbiased person changes your perspective on things. Because like you could go to like your homegirl, your best friend, your best guy friend, like whoever, And yes, you could have that person to vent to, but they're always going to be a little bit biased towards you.
Right, because they care about you.
Yeah, they care about you. Yeah. Even if you have that friend that like keeps shit 100 with you, they're still at the end of the day a bias towards you.
For sure.
So having to get an hour, 30 minutes, however long your session is, you just get to have that block of time to talk to someone that does not know shit about you prior to this, really changes your opinion about things. I always recommend therapy to people. I always do. I think therapy is a great tool, even if you're not an artist.
Right. No, I mean, my sisters, both of them have go to therapy, and I would like to try it just to give it a shot and just to see what it's about. And
it is a very uncomfortable experience.
I'm sure.
100%. I think like the first couple of sessions.
I mean,
with
they're
my
kind of
counselor,
they're like undressing your emotions, like, and
yeah,
it's like, oh,
and it's
fuck.
like, and when you're someone like me who got like mad trust issues, it's like, I know you're contractually obligated to not tell someone about my shit, but I still feel like you're gonna like go home and talk shit about me.
So, by the way, this is what I heard today. Spill the tea.
It's like you go home to your wife like, yo, babe, take a listen to this weird ass bitch. But still, like, it's like it's really uncomfortable, and they force you. A good therapist will force you to look at yourself in a mirror, and you can't, because a therapist serves as a mirror for yourself,
and you can't really do like, because if you're just talking with somebody randomly and they're going into a conversation or a topic that you don't really feel comfortable, you can kind of do like the mental gymnastics and the verbal gymnastics to get around it, or just be like, I don't want to talk about it and get away from it. Like when you're at I feel like when you're at a therapy session with it, like that's what they went to school for. Like they're gonna call you. It's like, no, this is what you just did right here. I'm like, oh fuck, like,
and they would always be like, okay. They would ask me the random question like, how does that make you feel? You get a lot of that shit, and it literally forces you to really deeply think, rather than just kind of talk out of your ass. Right. And then they also provide a different perspective to the situation. They force you to look at a different perspective, because you're already paying them shit.
For real.
Like I was lucky I didn't have to pay for it. It was just. The school offered it for free, which shout out to JU about that. But at the end of the day, like, they're there to help you. Right. It's going to feel uncomfortable. You're not going to like it. You're going to come out of some sessions probably being pissed off that, like, you're forced to talk about this. But a few years down the road, you're going to thank that therapist or that counselor for forcing you to talk about a certain thing or think about a certain thing. Yeah.
I mean, it is important, not to keep too many people around you that share the same opinion, and like, just, you gotta go out and hear some different shit from some different people. Exactly. Like, cause that's, like, that's what's gonna keep you fresh. You start
to like get a little bit delusional about your shit.
Right. That's what keeps you fresh, and that's what keeps your mind fresh and things like that. And
it keeps your 2 feet like planted on the ground. It keeps you level headed.
Right. Cause again, like, there's really the person that you're talking to, that whether it is in a therapy session or whether it is some random conversation, and it's just like a person that you just met or that you don't really know, like, I mean, they don't really have any like reason to not tell you the truth in a sense. So it's like you're gonna get some type of like reality check or some type of humble like pie served to you, and you're just like, oh fuck, like you're right, fuck you, but you're right, but you're right. And it is that's how you grow. That's how you continue to, just evolve as a person and continue to level up and upgrade. I mean, upgrade in a sense, because, if you attach yourself to an old way of thinking for too long, it is going to get stale, and, it is kind of gonna be like, all right, like, yes, maybe at some point that was all right, and maybe that worked, and it for you,
helped
but like,
you in that moment,
right? But now is not that time anymore. Like, this is a new time. And
staying stagnant is almost as worse as taking a step back.
Right, because it's, what are you doing? Nothing.
Just chilling.
That's it. Just nothing. A whole lot of nothing. Like, yeah, it is the mind is a tricky place. I do want to go back to and take some psychology classes, because I've read some psychology books and things like that. And I feel like it is just very important to, if not for anything, just to help understand yourself and like just help yourself like just be happy or happy enough. Like, I mean, the world, I know world's a crazy place.
Healthy enough.
Right.
If not happy, at least healthy.
Right.
Because once you're mentally healthy, you could become physically healthy and all that stuff.
Right. Mind over matter is a real thing. It truly is. You 100%. Talk yourself out of so much shit, and it's like, and again, like, it makes sense in your head. You can make it. It sounds good. It sounds right in your head when you're thinking it. But then when when you start, doing whatever exercise or actually start like sifting through it, it's like, oh shit, like, yeah, I really was just convincing myself that what I'm doing is like, it's okay, like it's justified, and it's like,
because like at the end of the day, you live with yourself in your head. No one knows what's going on in your head but you. Right. So having someone like a therapist come in and help you sift through that clutter, help you clean all that shit out, it's great.
It always that every time I talk about like just cleaning out your mind, it reminds me of the SpongeBob's episode
where it's like it's on fire. Oh shit! Why was I thinking the same shit?
A whole bunch of views just like going crazy in your head, like what the fuck?
Why was I thinking the exact same shit?
Because I have
brought up that exact same analogy so many times in therapy.
SpongeBob is iconic. He's made so many. There's so many like quotables and memes from SpongeBob. 100%. It's the best. It is the best. But yeah, it is a crazy place to be too. I mean, just in your own head, sometimes people get you don't know what people are dealing with. Mm-hmm. And again, if you're not able to look outside of yourself for a little bit and you get lost in your own head, it's like that's that could be murky waters for certain people.
And if you're lost in your own head, how can you navigate life properly?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that helps. I mean, once you're able to understand yourself more, you can apply that into understanding other people. Mm-hmm. Like I said, putting yourself in other people's shoes, not going off of what your initial emotion is all the time. Like there's going to be time, obviously, people slip up, people make mistakes, like we're all gonna do it, but like just being more conscious of like what you're putting out in the world. And what you put out, it's gonna come back to you in some form or fashion, whether it's like an immediate consequence or it could be a
karma does her shit.
A ripple effect is real,
both good and bad karma.
For real,
she does her shit.
For real, that ripple effect, it is that shit will bounce back off of something and come right back to you. So that shit is
and you're right. Sometimes it happens right away. Sometimes it takes a series of events happens before you.
I mean, because it depends what it is. Like if you go up to somebody and just start yelling and shouting at them, you might get punched in the face, and that's like the instant karma right there. Or you might, who knows? Like I'm trying to think of something that you might do that might be a ripple effect. I don't know. You are rude to a client or something, and then they go complain to you about their boss, and then it's whatever, something more like that is a little bit more like elongated. But
or something I watched on Instagram earlier today on my lunch break. Like someone would be like in a drive-thru of, let's say, like Dunkin' Donuts, pays for their order, and they're like, "Oh, can I pay for the person behind me?" Why? Because I feel like it. That's paying it forward, and then eventually down the road, that good karma is gonna come back to you in some way, shape, or form.
Right. Good karma is a thing too. Mm-hmm.
You get what you put out.
For sure.
You get what you put out.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you got going on now? Like, do you have anything that you've been working on as far as poetry stuff? I know you said you just started a new job, so that's pretty exciting. Yeah. Is there anything? Do you still go out? Like, how often do you go out and perform live or, go to the poetry shops and...
Well, like you said, I just started a new job, so I'm kind of a little bit more focused on that right now. Because music and poetry don't pay the bills just yet. Yeah. Keyword yet. One day it will. Yeah. So right now I'm kind of focusing on what does pay the bills. But I think I'm getting back into writing a lot more. Especially with... Now that I'm like a lot more stable with the new job, I could write out my thoughts better.
Right. Have you ever thought about like putting out a poetry book? Like just like what is that? I guess what does a poetry book entail first? Like is it just like a collection of that person's poetry, or is there like a theme to it?
All depends on the writer. I know last year, last fall or something like that, I did like a little poetry chapbook, which is just like a really small collection of like 10, 15 poems. I call them sticky note poems because at my last job, if I had like a thought on my head, I would write it down and then I would finish it on that poem. Again, kind of diving back into like the micro poetry roots that I started in. So there was just like 10, 11 micro poems that I wrote into a book, and I would go to like a lot of open mics and just start selling them for like $10, $15 a piece. I would love in the future to write a full poetry book, like a legit like piece of literature, I guess, in that sense. I don't know what theme I would put around it yet, or if I just want to write random shit. I don't know yet, but that is definitely a goal in the future.
I feel like that's kind of, I feel like it's kind of like curating an album or a playlist in a sense, especially with poetry. Like it is like, it's not like a whole elongated story. It's just segments of it. So like they're kind of like, those are kind of like the tracks, and you kind of have to figure out what fits where and things like that. So I feel like, you know, there is an element of like
programming, thinking of a theme for a project. Doing that with my EP earlier this year, I think it really taught me how to program and want to tell a story in that aspect.
Yeah, talk about that. How was that, making an EP and like putting something out like that?
Yeah, so I got to work closely with LF3. Shout out to Lewis. That's my guy. We recorded, I think, the first song, Voicemail, in like January of 2024. And this was way before I ever knew I wanted to make a project. But I knew I was writing a lot of shit in relation to like heartbreak. Because in like August to October of 2022 is when I experienced heartbreak for the first time.
Ouch.
Like real legit heartbreak for the first time, and that shit fucked me up.
That shit sucks.
Especially starting out your last year of college, like depressed and shit over some dumbass motherfucker who wanted to disrespect me.
Yeah, no,
which if you're watching this, fuck you.
Damn,
but
you know who you are.
You know who you are, but I made good ass music out of it. I realized I started writing a lot of stuff in regards to that. In regards to that heartbreak, I started to articulate it a lot more. And again, thanks to therapy, I was able to realize a lot of what I was going through. And I want to say somewhere around June, July 2024, I went to him and I'm like, hey, we have Voicemail, and we had done Far Away at the time. So the two lead singles off the project. And I'm like, why don't we just create a project around like lessons in regards to heartbreak, lessons in regards to what I expect from love, what I expect from future partners based off of what I've already learned and based off of shit that I experienced. And so writing these songs, there's 4 songs and 2 poems on the EP, so 6 tracks in total. And I wrote them all in different times of my life. I think Voicemail was kind of, I want to say, a year and some change post that breakup. So it was drawing back from like that real raw pain. Yeah. And I have a track on there called Table for Two. I did that at Dr. Phillips. And it's not so much of a heartbreak song at all. You listen to it and it's more like a vibey kind of song. But it's a story about finding someone who, kind of like that puppy love kind of shit. Yeah. So it's just like getting to write all these different ideas about heartbreak, love, lessons I've learned from love, and getting to just kind of put that all in one project in total. And I called it Sendoff, because not only is this a send-off of finally letting go of all this shit, number one, when you've held on to it for so long, but 2, it's just a send-off of me as an artist and embarking on this journey. And it's one of my favorite things I've done this year.
Do you find it easier to write about how you're feeling in the moment, or like after the moment has passed?
That's a good question. I want to say a mix of both. I guess it all kind of depends on what I'm going through. I think a lot of times, especially as of recent, like in the last year type shit, it's been more so kind of after it's happened and after I've had time to like really think about it. Right. sometimes it happens in the moment because I need that release and I need to like write it down somewhere. Even if I don't finish it until later, I at least like start it and I get it off my chest. So yeah, it kind of all depends on what I'm going through and what the situation is.
Yeah.
I don't really have like a definitive answer.
Have you gone back to things? I'm sure you have, that like you wrote something in the moment and went back to it and like, I guess
that's what I've been doing a lot of
revised
recently.
Or like just finished, like kind of, because I mean, I feel like in that sense too, it's kind of like you're kind of closing that chapter on that emotion or that feeling and things like that.
I think that's what I've been doing a lot of in these like recent months. Because I kind of unintentionally built this like shtick of singing a song that relates to the poem as like my intro and then transitioning into the poem after that. So like that's kind of like my little thing.
Yeah.
And so, because music helps me kind of like, because like you said earlier, when you don't know how to say your emotions and someone else knows how to, that's how I am with music and poetry. So sometimes, especially starting a piece, it's always hard for me to start a piece and get that good opening catching line. But I could sing a song that helps get your attention, and then it helps me kind of start the piece and start getting all this shit going. But
yeah, I mean, that seems like a good formula to kind of, again, express, mix both of those,
and it's a good formula to kind
together.
Of it's a good formula to follow for me, at least, to help empty out this like drafts folder I have in, like my Google Drive and shit. Because I got like 4 unfinished pieces.
Shit, there you go. So it also gets the mind going a little bit, gets the gears turning.
And sometimes I'll open a piece. There's a piece on my phone that's like 2 years old that I wrote like a page to. I looked at it and I'm like, I no longer relate to this feeling. I no longer relate to this feeling, and having to finish something that you don't relate to anymore.
I'm sure it's difficult.
It's difficult. Sometimes I think I deleted one of them because I'm like, I don't really relate to this situation anymore.
Have you ever, like, I guess in a situation like that, thought of like, I guess, writing why, or like why I don't relate to this anymore, and kind of like finishing off a poem like that, and like kind of like I guess it more like a juxtaposition of like, this is what it was, but for what A, B, and C reason, like this isn't it anymore. That's the old me type shit.
Yeah.
An old thought.
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really thought about it that way. And I think it's a good challenge for me to try and pursue. I just
feel like there's a lot of times too where, I mean, even in recording podcasts and things like that, like I have like fucking almost 300 episodes out in total, and there's times where I'll go back and listen and I'll say something that I meant and I thought and I believed in that moment, and then I'm like, or it could just be some dumb shit, like and then I look, it's like, it's like, all right, well, I guess like I knew why I was saying it then, but like it just doesn't check out anymore now.
That's me a lot. My mouth moves faster than my brain half the damn time.
Shit, I think that's most of us.
So it's like I feel like once I watch this podcast over, I'll be like, just say what the fuck you're trying to say.
No, it definitely it's hard sometimes on certain things. Most of the time, I don't really, I just let it fly. I've supposed to been doing it for a while too, but there's been times, especially in the beginning, where it's like, like how do I say this without, I don't know, pissing somebody off or whatever. But sometimes it's just like there's no way to say it without pissing somebody off, so I'm just gonna say it. Then
it's impossible to please everyone.
Right.
It is so impossible to please everyone.
Right.
And as a recovering people pleaser, that's a terrifying thing to think about.
Recovering people pleaser.
No, I'm so serious. That is a terrifying thing to think about.
Yeah.
Is the feeling of not giving a fuck, but also simultaneously giving a fuck.
Right.
So it's almost not contradictory. It's almost hypocrisy in that sense. It's like I don't give a fuck, but at the same time I do.
Yeah, no, it definitely you definitely have to get over that shit. Especially, I mean, in any type of form of media or music or, you know, entertainment or anything like that. You kind of have to get over it. And like, you know, you might.
And just create the art.
Right.
Because someone's going to relate to it.
Right.
Not everyone can, but at least one person can relate to it. And for me, if at least one person relates to what the fuck I'm saying, if it's one person relates to my music or one person relates to my poetry,
it's done its job.
It's done its job.
All right. Yeah. Nah. And I feel the same way about podcasting and things like that. You know, I hope people, I guess, come away when they, you know, whenever they watch on whatever platform, it's like, you just talk about shit. We'll be all right. Things are cool. Like, there's no problem. Like, you know, so, I think we hit about an hour. That was a pretty fast hour, honestly.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. No, I mean, lately I've been pumping it. Like the last two that I did were like 2.5 hours, and those are like that time, like that starts pushing the territory. I'm like, oh shit, like it's good and it's good conversation, but like 2 hours is a long podcast.
Yeah.
Like you don't really start realizing it until you start doing it, and like, you know, just there is a certain level of like, because you know the talking aspect, but then having to sit down and go through and edit it and all that shit, and it's like I'm enjoying this, but I'm gonna regret this later when I'm on my laptop having to fucking go through this and all that shit.
Like current me loves it, future me maybe not so much.
For real. But I guess we'll send it off here. Is there anything that no pun intended? But is there anything any place that you're going to be coming up soon to perform or anything that you want to plug up, your social medias, anything like that? Any last words, essentially?
Yeah, so y'all could follow me on Instagram at _moon.phases_. I'm slowly building up my YouTube. I finally uploaded my set from Dr. Phillips.
Sure, so I need to subscribe.
Yeah, so y'all could go watch that. Caitlin Jade Morales. That is CAITLIN JADEMORALES.
Boom.
So my whole set's on there. I have a couple pieces of poetry on there. And I'm thinking about filming some of like my older poems and posting them on there, because I have a lot of music on my YouTube. I don't have enough of the poetry. So maybe I'll probably just sit down, get it on that bitch and just
post it.
Post it.
Do you usually post on your socials like when you're gonna go perform or go read poetry or whatever?
Yeah, I'm always posting on my stories all day, every day. I post about events I'm at, shouting people out. You'll always see me post about shit that I care about.
Word. Yeah, because I definitely would like to go check it out and see what's good.
Yeah, for
sure. Seems like a vibe. I've never really like gone to a poetry reading or anything like that. So
it's a vibe. It's a real good vibe.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll definitely be on the lookout for that. But yeah, thank you for coming. Appreciate it. It was a great conversation. This is episode 240 of the No Hangover Podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, rate across all platforms. We're on YouTube, we're on Apple Podcasts, and we're on Spotify. Check us out on our socials, on Instagram at No Hangover Podcast, and on TikTok at No_Hangover. Engage. I need to start saying this in the beginning of the episodes too, but I highly encourage watching the whole episodes through, the reels and the snippets. I appreciate the love on them, but the conversations usually are a little bit more nuanced than the reels and the snippets give. So please make sure you go watch these videos.
Listen while you're washing dishes.
I don't care how
you're stuck in I-4 traffic on the way home, rush hour. Just put it on.
Don't care how you listen. You could listen it in fucking. If it takes you a month, go ahead. Listen to those things.
If it takes you a month to listen to an hour podcast, there's an issue.
Hey, sometimes you got to go back to some shit. But again, thank you. We'll do this again sometime. I'm going to come check out some of your shows. Sure. Everybody love everybody. Deuces.